What was going on in your life that you were like, I need to get some help with this?
Debilitating anxiety, stress, feeling like I can't regulate any of my emotional responses to said stress and anxiety, fear of almost everything, of the unknown, of different situations of death, not being able to fully let go of my grief around the death that I've experienced in my life,
Hmm.
which I think contributes heavily to the anxiety.
Hmm. Along with the anxiety, it went to that next level of complexity, OCD.
Yes.
How was
Yes,
how was how was that showing up in your life?
a lot of intrusive thoughts and compulsive thoughts of really wild, not likely scenarios that caused me even more stress and anxiety. For sure. I felt very trapped in my own brain.
Hmm. So what was it like to be you, like on a day-to-day basis? Like how did you feel?
I felt very heavy, very drained, incredibly drained. I feel like all of my energy was spent on worrying about, when's the next shoe going to drop. I feel like I was constantly in fight or flight, trying to anticipate and prepare for every negative thing that could possibly happen.
Hmm. And how is that affecting your friendships, your relationships with, family?
I mean, negatively, all in all, I feel very like I would very closed off from people, feeling like I didn't have even the emotional capacity to interact with people, with friends, with family the way that I wanted to. It would just cause me more anxiety. And I'm sure it has been noticed, me pulling back and not being as social or as friendly, um, being tired all the time. And
Right.
that's what I tell everybody, is that I'm tired all the time.
Mhm. And you'd also said that there was anger. There's a lot of
A
anger.
lot of anger, anytime anything would come up that I felt like was out of my control.
Mhm.
I would have a very instant anger response. I would either be so angry that it was debilitating or so afraid that it was debilitating.
How long had that been going on in your life?
I mean, it's been going on in my life for years, off and on, I think my entire life,
Mhm.
very intensely over the last handful of years, 5, 6 years at least.
You had therapy like three different times over the years. And so in those years of therapy that you had, you told me you'd get some relief, like the day of, you'd feel good, but then you'd go right back. And so therapy didn't
Yes.
help. You tried quite a few things. What what made you want to like reach out to me? What made you think that this was the route for you?
Everything that I read on your site seemed really intriguing. It was obviously an approach that I had never heard of, and I read the testimonials, I read the reviews, and it just seemed like you had already helped a lot of people, and I really wanted to give it a try.
And it worked
And it worked.
with $9.
Yeah.
It's been 1 month. So would you describe the changes that you've experienced and what it's like to be Mary Catherine now?
I feel so much more in tune with myself, with my brain, with my emotions. Um, when anything comes up in my life now, I feel like I have so much more control over my reaction to things. I feel like I stay at a much more calm base so that I'm able to really assess situations emotionally before I react, which I feel like I wasn't able to do before. Everything was so knee jerk. All of my intense feelings and reactions would happen before I could have even processed what had happened. And I feel like I can take the time now and evaluate situations. I feel like I have such a better relationship with my inner self, with my brain, with my reactions, my emotions. It's been an incredibly relieving 4 weeks.
Mhm. So
I feel
what's your
100 pounds lighter.
pounds lighter? What's your energy level like now?
My energy level is has probably increased tenfold. I'm happier, I'm more energetic, I'm able to spend my energy on the things that are important to me that I want to do instead of feeling like all of my energy is taken up with all of my fears and my anxieties. It's been so much better.
How are your relationships different now? Because the relationship, socializing felt so overwhelming. You're never in the present moment. You said you want to just like be in the present moment and enjoy yourself and be able to like socialize. Like how are things different now?
A ton different. My husband noticed a difference almost immediately. I feel like I can spend more time around more people and not feel drained so quickly. We actually hosted Thanksgiving this year, which was a huge, huge thing. We had both of our families over, and it went amazing. And I feel like that's not something that would have gone as smoothly a couple months ago.
What was it like for you after, or well, during and after the session? Was it intense? Was it hard? What was
I
it?
I wouldn't say it was hard at all. It's not something that I feel like I've had to make. Like I feel like I'm making more effort, but it's been very natural feeling. Like it feels like my brain's doing all the work for me, if that
All the
makes
work
sense. Yeah.
against you.
It's not taking up all of this energy. It's just a more natural flow of figuring out why I feel the way that I feel, if it's something negative, and responding to it appropriately.
Yeah, because there's anxieties still come up. Yeah. hmm
Yeah.
Yeah. Life still happens. There's not a magic pill where everything's going to be hunky dory and fairy tale land all the time. We're still living in life. There's still stressors, but it's different now because,
Because I'm able to so much more smoothly interrupt any, toxic thoughts or cycles. I can pull myself out of these things again almost effortlessly, like in a way that I haven't felt like I could do in I don't remember how long.
Mhm, mhm. That effortless is the word that you use. Like before when we were talking about all of the shifts and changes, you're like, it's been effortless. Like it's been like a slow, just like increase. It hasn't been up and down. It's been pretty effortless. It just happens. Things happen in my life. I take care of them and they move out. And then I come back to a really calm state. You had told me like, I'm just calm all the time now. That's my baseline is calm instead of you
Yeah.
had said before you're filled. So if you were a cup, like my water's here now, but if you were a cup, you were filled to capacity. And so something would happen
Yes.
and
All the
everything would just like spill over and explode. But you were like, now it's like my cup is empty, so there's more space. I'm coming from this baseline of calm. So I just am able to handle things better.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. You had some pretty severe death anxiety, worrying about death, your death, loved ones' deaths. What's that like now?
Overall, the my attitude around it isn't nearly as doom and gloom, I guess,
Yeah.
if that makes sense. I have a much more positive outlook, and I remind myself that there's not a need to worry 24/7. It's not helpful to myself or to anybody else.
Yeah. Because
And that's a more calming thought.
I think that's a normal human experience to have worries or fears or concerns about death, but it's not taking over, and
Right.
the OCD that you talked about, OCD is about control. I feel like I have to control things in order to feel safe. But now you have a different relationship with control where it's the things aren't controlling you so that you feel like you don't have control and then you're fighting for it. So it's this like inner power struggle that never gets resolved. Now you had said I that you feel like you have true control, and there's this confidence that you're capable of handling situations, and that kind of,
Yes. Yes.
yeah.
I feel like I have much more control over my own mind and reactions, and that is huge.
If you were to explain to someone what it's been like working together, um, how would you explain it? I know it's hard to put into words.
I feel like it's one of the biggest, easiest things that somebody can do for themselves. I think it is worth a try. I can't think of a single person that I know in my life that wouldn't benefit from this.
Mm,
Like, it's been incredible.
mm-hmm. And when we had that session, so it was like 2 to 3 hours. What was that?
It was at least,
What was it like for you? How would you explain that?
honest, honestly, it was kind of a blur. It went by so quickly. Everything that but we touched on so many things, but the time just flew. Again, it just felt very effortless. It felt very, there was just a flow to it, I felt like, that was very easy.
Because you have a lot of trauma in your past. Did we even go into the traumas?
We really didn't. We didn't even need to. And that was something I was so surprised about after the fact, is that the traumas aren't what matter even. Your response to things is what matters, and the control that you have over your own mind and emotions matter, and your outlook on the world matters. The why that comes before doesn't even matter.
Wow, that's so well, that's really well stated. So if someone's watching this and they're deciding if this is the path they should take, they're like, should I work with Lorraine? Like, what would your advice be to them?
It would be to 110% give it a try, because I don't think anybody would be disappointed.
Will you keep us updated?
Yes, I look forward to it.
Right. I'm really happy that you're sharing your story so that other people can benefit from this. It's really brave of you and also very kind of you at the same time.